If you've ever thought your family was a mess, you can relax. Let me introduce you to mine. Hi, I'm Harper, and I'm 16. I've got an older brother, Max. He's 20. And a little sister, Olive. She's 9. And according to family legend, before I was born, my family was basically perfect. Max was always the golden child. At 1, he was doing puzzles. At 2, reading books. By 4, he was probably filing taxes. And then I was born. And as my mom puts it, that's when everything started going downhill. As a baby, I cried nonstop. And when I got a little older, it only got worse. I broke toys, caused trouble, and one time I got into my mom's makeup bag and ran an experiment called What Happens If You Mix Every Shade of Lipstick Together? But my all-time worst was at a pie contest. My mom was in this housewives club back then, and one day she took me with her.
Harper, it'll be good for you to learn something.
I realized right away, baking's not my thing. Taste testing though? Sign me up! While no one was looking, I took a bite out of every single pie before the contest even started. I was just checking if they were any good. In the end, Mom got kicked out of the Housewives Club. So, yeah, my parents had a rough time with me. And then Olive was born. I didn't like her from day 1. It felt like my parents looked at me and thought, yeah, this one's defective. Let's try again for a normal daughter. The house got loud. Fights, yelling, kid meltdowns. My parents sent Max off to a boys' boarding school, so, quoting Dad, the chaos at home wouldn't ruin his future. So my perfect older brother only came home for holidays and breaks. I recently turned 16. Max was away at college, living in another city. But my parents still held him up as a gold standard. They bragged about his achievements to their friends. Last year, they even bought him a car. And I realized that, as a kid, I was, well, kind of a disaster. So now I was trying to do better. The problem was, there was a new issue, Olive. She suddenly turned into a mini version of me. Same little devil energy, always with a lollipop in her hand, but there was one key difference. Olive wasn't my parents' problem. She was mine. She went through my stuff, took embarrassing photos of me when I wasn't looking, and posted them online. But what drove me the most insane was that she kept taking my makeup. I didn't tell anyone this, but I thought I was ugly. Bad teen skin, breakouts, and then you open social media and it's just perfect faces everywhere. Of course, your self-esteem takes a hit. That was why I never left the house without makeup. That Sunday morning, I opened my eyes and saw Olive's face hovering over me. She was smiling like she just pulled off the scam of the century. What do you want? Get out of my room. A few seconds later, the doorbell rang, and right after that, my mom shouted from the kitchen, "Harper, my hands are covered in flour! Get the door!" I yawned and went downstairs, and there he was, Tony. Tony, the guy I've basically had a crush on my entire life.
Hey, Harper, I was just riding by and my tire went flat. Do you guys have a pump?
And that's when it hit me. I had just woken up. I probably looked awful. Oh my god, don't look at me. I'm not wearing any makeup.
Actually, you might be wearing a little too much.
What? I glanced at the mirror and nearly jumped. While I was asleep, Olive had given me full-on clown makeup.
You're probably busy. I'll just, go ask Nadine for a pump.
Admit it, I have a real talent for makeup. You're so dead. Gotta catch me first. Mom, Olive's impossible. Just look at what she did.
Well, now you know what it was like raising you.
Olive stuck her tongue out. I growled, but there was nothing I could do. I went to the bathroom to wash that nightmare off my face. From the window, I could clearly see Nadine's house. Tony was pumping up his tire, and Nadine was saying something, all flirty. Ever since her parents got that inheritance from some distant uncle, Nadine's gotten way too confident. But she was still my best friend. That evening, I did my makeup perfectly, because Nadine and I were meeting up with some friends. Tony stopped by earlier today. Yeah, I saw you two. I know you like him. I do too. So, what are we gonna do? I don't want us turning into rivals. Me neither. Then let Tony decide who he likes more. But it has to be fair. No dirty tricks, no trying to make the other one look bad. Obviously, everyone was already there. Someone had music blasting from a speaker. Tony was riding the ramp, and just watching him made my heart do flips.
Hey, Harper, your makeup looks, way better.
Yeah, that was my sister's doing. And a second later, I learned what real betrayal feels like. Look at Harper, caking it on like a clown to hide her zits. Tony let out an awkward smile, and my face went red. We had a deal. It was supposed to be fair. Sorry, all's fair in love. By the way, my parents are out of town next weekend, so I'm throwing a party. I clenched my fists. So that's how we're playing it. Fine. I'd get my payback at the party, and I was finally gonna make a move on Tony. But at home, there was a surprise waiting for me. My parents said next weekend was their wedding anniversary.
So we're going away for a romantic weekend at a spa hotel. Cool. Olive will stay under your care, Harper.
That is not cool. Maybe hire a babysitter, or better yet, an animal trainer for this little monkey? Hey!
There is not a single babysitter in town who'd agree to stay with you two. Besides, this is a perfect chance for you to prove you're responsible.
And just like that, a week later, my parents took off for the whole weekend. Nadine's party was getting started, and I was stuck playing unpaid babysitter to a demon. After dinner, a miracle happened. Olive curled up and fell asleep. So I sat there, scrolling through my friend's feed. Of course, they'd already started posting photos from the party. And then I heard a creak, followed by quiet footsteps. Like someone had come in through the back door and was heading upstairs. Please just let it be a raccoon. But when I opened the door, I found my brother. You almost gave me a heart attack. Why didn't you say you were in town?
It's my house too. It's not like I have to report in.
Why are you digging through everything? If you're looking for money, I've got bad news. Mom and Dad just put it all in the bank.
No, I'm just looking for some documents.
I narrowed my eyes. Something felt off, but we were never close, so I didn't push it. Since you're here, keep an eye on Olive so she doesn't destroy the city, would you? I'm going to Nadine's party for a couple of hours. I need to teach her a lesson.
Aren't you guys best friends?
We were, but ever since her parents got that inheritance, she's been acting like the center of the universe.
Fine, go. I'll stay with Olive.
I nodded, and 5 minutes later, I was standing in Nadine's living room. The whole night, we were basically tug-of-warring over Tony. Wanna dance? Can you grab me a drink?
You're gonna rip me in half.
A couple hours later, people started heading out, until it was just the three of us left. Oh, by the way, my parents had a jacuzzi installed in the backyard. We should go check it out. Well, except for Harper, obviously. Why? Aren't you afraid your makeup will wash off and Tony will see your acne? That hit like a slap. Nadine purred something about grabbing her swimsuit and went upstairs. A minute later, she came back looking terrified.
What happened?
The small safe from my parents' room is gone. It had the inheritance money inside it. Suddenly, her fear turned into anger. She pointed straight at me. You've always been jealous of me. You must have stolen it. How can you even say that? We've been friends since we were kids.
Hey, wait. Harper's been here the whole time. I know because I looked at her all night.
My cheeks flushed and Nadine snapped. If that safe doesn't turn up by the end of the night, I'm calling the police. Right then, we heard a noise from the kitchen and froze.
That could be the thief.
If there was a thief, it was a snack thief. What are you doing here? Eating ice cream. I can see that. Wasn't Max supposed to be watching you? He got a call and rushed out right away. I got bored. And suddenly, the pieces started falling into place. I remembered Max digging through the dresser. The way he hesitated when I said our parents had put their money in the bank. What if he'd gotten himself into trouble? And I was the one who gave him the idea when I blabbed about Nadine's parents coming into money. I told my friends about my suspicions, then tried calling Max, but someone else picked up. Why do you have my brother's phone?
Your brother?
Yeah, Max.
He left it here about an hour ago. If you need it, come by the Dark Heart Tattoo Studio.
I hung up and told them we needed to go to the tattoo shop, get the phone, and figure out where Max went. I'm coming too! I pictured what Olive could do if left alone, and flooding the house would be the least of it. Fine, you're coming with us. Yay! A few blocks later, we found the tattoo shop. Black walls, a skull on the window, and a massive guard at the door who wouldn't let minors inside. I need to get my brother's phone.
You're the one I talked to earlier? Henry, let them in.
The guy looked about 20. Dark hair, tattoos on his arms. Why did Max come to see you?
He needed money.
What? What did you drag him into?
Relax, shorty. Max and I go way back. We were at boarding school together. He stopped by recently, wanted to borrow some money. But I don't have that kind of cash, so he went looking somewhere else and must have dropped his phone.
I looked away for just a few minutes, and by the time I remembered about Olive, she was already staring at a tattoo on her arm. This is so cool! My parents are gonna kill me!
Relax, it's just a sticker.
I barely had time to breathe a sigh of relief before I heard Nadine's annoyed voice. You've got 1 hour to find the money! I came up with the idea of calling the last number that had contacted Max. It was saved as Samantha. A second later, a woman answered. Max, what took you so long? Did you get the money? This is his sister. Why does Max need money? What's going on? Oh, She just hung up and didn't answer again. I tried getting into Max's messages, but everything was locked with passwords. When we stepped outside, it was already dark.
So, what now?
I have no idea. I don't even know where to look for Max. I'm going home and calling the police. I felt tears start to fall out of sheer desperation. Max had always been the pride of the family, and now he was probably going to end up behind bars.
You know, I just realized this is the first time I've ever seen you without makeup. You're really beautiful.
Really?
Yeah, I don't get why you're so self-conscious.
I smiled, a little embarrassed, and then I spotted Max's car. Some guy was checking it out like he was about to buy it. Return the money.
What money?
The money you stole from Nadine's parents, along with the safe.
Call me if you decide to lower the price on the car.
And now you're selling your car too? That money was not enough? What did you get yourself into, Max? He let out a tired sigh, and suddenly he didn't look like the perfect older brother anymore. Just someone completely worn out.
I met a girl. She's pregnant. I dropped out of college and got a job to take care of us, but at a checkup, they found complications with the baby. It needs surgery, a serious one. Samantha's in the hospital right now, and I've been trying to come up with the money. I was ready to sell the car, but I'd never steal Harper.
Why didn't you tell Mom and Dad? They would have helped.
Because I didn't want to disappoint them. They've always believed I'd make something of myself, and now I'm just a dropout who can't even figure out how to pay for this.
You know, I spent my whole childhood acting out just to get their attention. All they ever talked about was how perfect you were. But now I get it. Being perfect isn't exactly easy. It was a really emotional moment. And then Nadine ruined it. If Max didn't take the safe, then Olive did. She snuck into my house. That little thief! Don't you dare yell at my sister. Yeah, she's a handful, but she's not a thief. And how exactly was she supposed to carry a safe? It's small. She's 9, Nadine. God, I don't even recognize you right now. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if there was never any safe at all. You probably made the whole thing up just to make me and my family look like monsters. Tony, you don't believe me either?
I'm sorry, Nadine.
She had nothing else to say. She burst into tears, got on her bike, and rode off. Tony turned to me, looking awkward.
Honestly, I always liked you more anyway.
Yeah, I kind of figured that out when you said you'd been watching me all night. We both smiled, and for the first time that whole crazy evening, everything felt normal. We didn't get home until late. My head was still spinning from everything. I changed in my pajamas and went over to the window. Across the street, Nadine showed up at hers. We used to wave goodnight to each other. This time, she just closed the curtain. I was about to turn away when I saw it, a shadow slipping into Nadine's house through the window. I grabbed my phone and tried to call her to warn her, but she didn't pick up. So I woke Max up and we rushed out to help her. What do you want? There's someone in your house. What? We ran upstairs, flipped on a light in her parents' bedroom, and saw Tony pulling out the safe from under the bed.
I can explain.
Oh, let me do it for you. You couldn't open the safe, so you hid it and came back at night to take it without anyone noticing, right? So the money was in the house this whole time?
If I ever find out you try something like this again, I'll personally make sure you end up behind bars. Got it? Yes, sir. Now get out.
Tony took off like a coward. Max went home, and Nadine and I just sat there on the steps. He let us fight over him while he was figuring out how to use both of us. What a jerk. I'm such an idiot. I'm sorry, Harper. You know, I could have forgiven a lot, but you knew how insecure I am about my skin, and you went straight for it. Friends don't do that. I went home. The next morning, my parents came back. Max told them everything. They weren't disappointed. If anything, they were happy they were going to have a grandchild. They gave him the money for the surgery, and he went straight to the hospital to be with Samantha. And at home, things went back to normal. My headphones are broken. Someone's about to be in trouble. You can't catch me, haha. Sometimes my sister drove me crazy, but I still loved her. And I knew she'd calm down as she got older. That morning, I decided to go to school without makeup for the first time, even though I still felt self-conscious. I'd spent years hating myself because of my skin. But the ugliest thing in this whole story wasn't acne. It was people being fake and cruel. Outside, Nadine waved at me, but I couldn't even bring myself to nod back. What do you think? Am I right to walk away from a friendship that's lasted this long, or should I give her another chance?